I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-888-535-3847. 1-888-535-3847. That's 1-888-535-3847. 1-888-535-3847.
Fink's Car Care, with locations in Chesapeake and Portsmouth, is your dedicated Tire Stars dealer. At Fink's, their experienced staff specializes in brake, steering, suspension, tune-ups, oil changes, and much more. They also handle rebuilt engines and transmissions, and they're your destination for tires, rims, and towing as well. Fink's is located at 2236 South Military Highway at 2711 Victory Boulevard. For more information, log on to finkscarcare.com or call 545-3573.
Your family and their safety are your number one priority. Your home, your business, and quality of life provide peace of mind. Your security can be enhanced with the proper firearms and ammo from Battlefield Guns and Ammo. Never take anything for granted, whether you're at home or away. Call 757-410-7720, log on to battlefield-guns.com, and visit Battlefield Guns and Ammo at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake.
From Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bickaveris.
And I have to say, Ken and I have got the studio to ourselves. Beautiful island out there. Wonderful, wonderful hot weather in Hampton Roads. What do you expect? Hello to all the tourists out there. This is Sports Scene. Greg Bickaveris along with Ken Johnson, my wonderful producer, excellent on-air personality as well. Sports Scene each Wednesday from 12 to 1 right here on News Talk 1650, your home for CBS News. Don't forget Sports Highlights, the TV show that I host will come back in August. We got encore shows as well on nnpstv.com, your home for CBS News. Tell your friends about News Talk 1650. Listen on tunein.com. Type in WHKT. Thank you to our military. Great guest lineup today, of course, as well. Coming up, sponsors on GJBTV.com. Marketplace sponsors. Guest lineup presented by Hampton Roads, onlinemall.com. Phone line presented by Old Town Tavern in Hampton. Sponsors right now in July, Old Town Tavern, Fink's Car Care, Spaghetti Eddie's, Battlefield Guns and Ammo, Crawl Space Doors. Don't forget GJBTV.com, Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Go there to the marketplace sponsors and browse, shop, and visit. Thanks to our guests last week on the Fan Forum last week, Bill, Ron, and Hank. Excellent job by all three of you. Don't forget highlights on GJBTV.com, and also go to the YouTube page of GJBTV.com. You'll see it on the homepage. It'll take you to archive shows. And thank you to our good friends at Active Computers and my good buddy Trooper Joe, the state trooper, one of the premier state troopers in the state of Virginia. Thank you for all that you do and all your fellow comrades protecting us day in and day out 24/7 in the state of Virginia. Virginia State Police, they are the backbone of the state of Virginia. Stay tuned for our next guest after these messages on Sports Scene.
Excellent Italian food is found at Spaghetti Eddie's, a neighborhood restaurant with a great family atmosphere and delicious Italian cuisine. Define Spaghetti Eddie's. New York-style pizza, pasta, subs, calzones, soups, salads will bring you back again and again. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Greenbrier and Western Branch. Quality Italian food is at Spaghetti Eddie's.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Now back to Greg Bicaveras and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
And welcome back to News Talk 1650, your 10,000-watt powerhouse of CBS News right here in Hampton Roads. Greg Bicaveras, glad you're with us for our weekly show. For more, log on to gjbtv.com and Hampton Roads Online Mall.com, powered by Active Computers in Chesapeake. I want to welcome our next guest right here. First off, leading it off, Jeff Newman, the tournament director of the City Open in Washington, D.C. Excellent tennis tournament starting up very soon. Jeff, welcome to Virginia Beach.
It's a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Very good. Let's talk about the City Open. What a great history and heritage it's got. A lot of people know who Donald Dell is, but what a wonderful trademark and history you've got over there in Washington.
Exactly. The tournament's been in Washington, D.C. since 1969. Donald founded the event with the support of Arthur Ashe, and it's obviously had a tremendous history in D.C., which is why we call ourselves the capital of tennis tradition.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the field this year in 2014. Of course, last year highlighted by Del Potro and, of course, John Isner. Let's talk about the field.
Well, we have a real exciting event planned and a real treat for ticket buyers. We have 3 of the top 10 on the men's side with our top seed, Thomas Berdych, as well as really 2 of the best players that are touted as the next generation of Grand Slam champions with Grigor Dimitrov and Milos Raonic. Overall, we have 9 of the top 25, along with John Isner and Kate Nishikori and Richard Gasquet, Gael Monfils, and more. And then on our women's side, obviously we're led by Eugenie Bouchard, who made the final of Wimbledon, and we also have 8 of the top 25. So this year we're actually featuring 4 semifinalists from Wimbledon with Raonic and Dimitrov, and then Safarova and Bouchard. So, and then on top of that, with our doubles field, we have the Wimbledon champions, Vasek Pospisil and Jack Sock, along with the Bryan brothers, who will be our number 1 seed. So all around, the fields are really deep.
We're talking tennis right here on Sports Scene this segment. Greg Bicaveras, glad you're with us right here at 12:13 on the radio. Also, tunein.com. Listen anywhere in the world on your phone or your computer. That's tunein.com. Type in WHKT. Tell your friends. It's easy on your phone. And you talk about that, too. And we talk about, like, some of the top 3 in Djokovic, Nadal, Federer. That's who people know. And back in the day, of course, people knew Agassi, Sampras, Chang, Courier. You mentioned, Isner, Sock, and the Bryan brothers. And the Bryan brothers seem like right now, Jeff, they're the most relevant players that are in the American soil that people know. The Americans are just not getting it done in the top 10 right now.
Well, John Isner has been a staple. He's been in the top 10. He teeters on the top 10 often, but I think people need to give him more credit in terms of what he's accomplished and can accomplish, and he's obviously an exciting player to watch. I mean, the Bryan brothers this year at our tournament are going for their 99th career title, so certainly they are one of the best doubles teams in history. But at the same time, obviously there's so much more competition worldwide than there was when there was Agassi and Changs of the world. Basically, the world is caught up, so to speak, and very similar to basketball and other sports where you see a lot more international players. It's very similar in tennis. And so, I think the Americans have done well, but there's certainly some excitement with some local kids, such as Francis Tiafoe, who, obviously is being touted as the next big thing, and we're happy to have him in the draw this weekend for qualifying.
So many great players have come from that area. They used to come down here when they were younger. One guy, Reed Cordish, and so many different ones. Jeff Hirsch from that area, Paul Goldstein. And that's one thing I really like what you guys do. You've always given the Mid-Atlantic guys a wild card opportunity. Talk about that wild card opportunity.
Well, we certainly want the event to be a platform to help, local kids and their opportunities to see how they stack up against the pros, really. And so we've given wild cards often to University of Virginia students, particularly Mitchell Frank and Jameer Jenkins, and obviously Paul Goldstein in the past. But, we certainly want to provide opportunity whenever we can for local wild cards, and obviously Francis Tiafoe this year is one in particular.
Yeah, I went to George Mason, even though I grew up down here, and I remember a longtime PA announcer for the event was Charlie Brotman. How's he doing?
He's still doing the event. He's the voice of the City Open. He's been doing it for years, and he's as enthusiastic and motivated as ever. So he was in place long before I was the tournament director, and as long as I'm here, he'll be here.
Talking to Jeff Newman, who is the tournament director with his time, talent, and treasure right here on News Talk 1650 WHKT, your home for CBS News. And you talk about the event right around the corner, basically just in a few days till August the 3rd. It's got great television coverage as well.
Right, so the event will be July 26th to August 3rd. This weekend we'll feature our qualifying competition along with a community day and our Heroes Day. Main draw starts on Monday. And so we have a real exciting week of tennis, and televised, we're going to be in 182 countries worldwide, and also will be broadcast on ESPN2 and the Tennis Channel. So we estimate it'll be about 7,000 global TV hours overall, so pretty significant reach for the DC event. And, for those who haven't been out to tennis, we obviously encourage it because it's a great value. You get, for example, if you come out on a Tuesday, you get 24 matches. If you go to a baseball game or a football game or a hockey game, you get one match or one game, so to speak. And if it's a bad game, tough luck. But in tennis, you could have up to 24 matches to choose from, and that's what really makes tennis exciting and a great value.
We'll talk about how many courts you'd have and what type of surface. Is it still hard courts?
Still a hard court event. We have 6 match courts, a stadium court that seats 7,500 with 31 suites. We have a grandstand 1 court that's about 2,500 seats, a grandstand 2 that's 1,500, and then other match courts that are about 500 to 700. So if you buy a ticket in the stadium, and even if you're in the last row, you get the opportunity to be in the first row, first come, first serve on all the outer courts. So, it gives you great value.
Our guest is Jeff Newman, who's the tournament director of the City Open in Washington, D.C., not too far from Newport News or Williamsburg. Of course, 10,000-watt News Talk 1650. This is Sports Scene. And you talk about what you mentioned the men and the women. Has it always been, Jeff, the women have played there as well? I know they've had doubles, but talk about the men and women and what type of extra work that is for the staff.
Well, we're happy to have both men and women playing together. There's only 4 tournaments in the U.S. that feature men and women playing together: Indian Wells, Cincinnati, Miami, and Washington, D.C. So it's a very unique opportunity for local fans to see both men and women playing together. We feel we're providing the full product for everybody to see, and of course there's logistics in terms of hotels and transportation and all that, but clearly it's worth the effort in order to provide the best and full product for our fans.
Talking to Jeff Newman right here on Sports Scene. And this is also exciting, like you mentioned, some of those tournaments. It's all part of the summer circuit leading to the U.S. Open, which should be really exciting in New York.
Absolutely. I mean, the U.S. Open Series was created in 2004 and really was an initiative for television in terms of appointment television. So it gave an opportunity for U.S. TV viewers to know exactly when you can see tennis during 6 weeks of the summer. So every Sunday from 3 to 5, you'll be able to watch back-to-back men's and women's finals. So that was really the intent of it from the start. Similar to the NFL, when you know you can watch NFL football at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. Same premise with tennis now, and the U.S. Open Series is knowing when and where you can see tennis. And obviously it's been great in having some innovations by being a part of the series, such as blue courts, instant replay, and others. So it continues to be a real great initiative to elevate the status of the tournaments leading into the U.S. Open.
Yeah, we talked to the tournament director from the Winston-Salem Open one a few weeks ago, talking about the different color courts. I know they've tried that for years. I grew up pretty much playing on green courts, regular charcoal clay courts. I know the Castles play on all different types of colors, and I hope they do respect the fact that you guys have a tournament. Are they playing the same time that you're going to be playing too? Talk about them.
No, the Castles are traditionally the weeks before us. They have a 3-week season with random home games. For us, the more tennis in the market, the better. I mean, if they can attract more interest in tennis by presenting a different product and way that tennis is played, and it gets more people interested, that's great for everybody. So, we encourage everyone to come out to both Castles and the City Open. Obviously, they're different in terms of the competitiveness, meaning match play versus team play. So it really does give a unique perspective on both fronts.
Absolutely. It's more of a team concept with the Castles. And, tennis is always pretty much dominated by singles on television. But like you said, the Bryan brothers are really exciting to watch. And, of course, what is your thoughts? We talk about golf when Tiger's hurt or he doesn't win a major for so many years. What is the state of tennis right now? You mentioned it's more of a worldwide sport more than ever.
Well, tennis is really the only pure international sport, in that in golf there's the PGA and the European Tour and the Asian Tour, but in tennis it's the ATP Tour worldwide and the WTA worldwide. So clearly you get the best international talent is playing all at once, along with the Americans, of course. So I think that is really the main difference, is that every player around the world is playing in the same events, as opposed to sort of a regional split. And so, the tennis has been, it couldn't be more popular around the world. It's really the golden age, if you will, of tennis, so to speak, because the competition has never been better.
Yeah, even though the names aren't necessarily household names, but except for the top 10, it's still a great, great sport. And a lot of people are involved with the USTA, like you said, as well. And it really just is, it's all inclusive, totally. Well, let me ask you this. Go ahead and plug your Facebook or your Twitter or your website.
Pound City Open is our social media. Our website is cityopentennis.com. Obviously, you can purchase tickets through cityopentennis.com or through Ticketmaster. Our box office opens up on site at the Rock Creek Park Tennis Center this Saturday, starting at 8 a.m. So we encourage people to obviously look at our different levels. But as I said before, the value that you get for our ticket price is tremendous. You get almost 10 hours of tennis and 24 matches for a very, very reasonable price. And,
of course, we have a lot of tourists that come down from Northern Virginia here to Virginia Beach, and they'll be going back up this weekend, so I'm sure they'll be excited as well for that. And you talk about, really, how about the last thing I want to ask about, the parking? People are always concerned about parking.
Well, parking at any sporting event is never fun. But we have a grass-filled lots that can accommodate over 1,000 people. If you take the Metro to the Van Ness UDC station, we have free shuttle service running every 15 to 20 minutes back and forth. We have satellite parking as well around the facility, such as at Walter Reed Army Medical. We're utilizing lots. So there's plenty of spaces, but clearly it's a first-come, first-serve. And, the opportunity to get a parking pass comes with ticket packages. So, that's the advantage of purchasing a week-long package. You get parking as well. But plenty of spaces and free shuttle service from all the auxiliary locations.
I've been to your event. I think it's one of the best tennis events I've ever been to. I had a chance to work it for ProServe on TV way back in 90 when Jim Grab was playing in Agassi. Just a wonderful event.
Right.
And I look forward to going there again next year in 2015. Give my best to Sheena. Go ahead and give us your physical address, just if anybody wants to MapQuest it or put it in their on their phone.
Sure. It's Rock Creek Park Tennis Center, also known as the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center. It's 16th and Kennedy Streets Northwest in Washington, D.C., zip code 20011. Mm-hmm. And it's right by Carter Barron Amphitheater on National Park Service land. So most people know the area by Carter Barron Amphitheater.
Is there any talk, too, in the future about maybe doing some tennis matches, for audio purposes, only like the early rounds, the first and second rounds? You mentioned the great TV coverage by the Tennis Channel and the ESPN family of networks, but any thoughts on that as far as like the early rounds, as far as any play-by-play? We've done tennis here on the radio before down here in the Virginia Beach area as well as local TV. What are your thoughts about the early rounds as far as promoting that in the future?
Well, I think there's definitely opportunity. People are consuming content so much differently, and obviously through their mobile phones and smartphones, et cetera. So I think it's really a matter of just corralling the opportunity and maximizing that. But certainly the opportunity is there and one that we're looking at.
Thanks so much for your time today, my friend. All the best to you and the great staff over there. And I know you're busy. You got the tournament starting in just a few days. And all the best, Jeff Newman.
Thanks so much, and appreciate all the promotion you do for tennis and sports in general. So it's a pleasure being on.
You too, Jeff. Thank you so much. All right, Ken Johnson, Jeff Newman. Of course, when you think summer, not only do you think the beach and the pool and swimming, but you also think those two sports, they collide together, golf and tennis.
Absolutely, and those lovely young ladies in those short dresses. Anyway.
That's Ken Johnson talking, folks. All right, we're going to take a real quick break, come back with the highlights, and then go to our next guest.
Old Town Tavern in the heart of Phoebus is your place for a great lunch and dinner, specializing in fresh seafood, burgers, sandwiches, salads, appetizers, and much more. Open daily, Old Town Tavern has live music, pool tables, darts, HD TVs, and a most pleasing atmosphere. Find them on Facebook. Visit 31 East Mellon Street in Hampton with plenty of parking in the back. Call 251-2636, 251-2636, bringing great food and great people together. Old Town Tavern, the locals' choice. Your family and their safety are your number one priority. Your homestead and your business and quality of life can give you peace of mind, but there are some bad hombres out there. Keep it all safe with the proper firearms and ammo from Battlefield Guns and Ammo. You can't take anything for granted, whether you're at the ranch or out on the trail. Call 757-410-7720. Log on to battlefield-guns.com and visit Battlefield Guns and Ammo at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Now back to Greg Bicaveras and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights on Sports Scene, presented by DJBTV.com Marketplace Sponsors Page.
And I want to thank Jeff Newman for talking about the wonderful sport of tennis right here on Sports Scene, right here on News Talk 1650 WHKT. Don't forget archive shows. Go to GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Of course, shop on the marketplace sponsors of Hampton Roads Online Mall.com and GJBTV.com. Save the date each Wednesday from 12 to 1 for this show. Encore show coming up next week. Best of. I'll be back in 2 weeks from today. But, of course, an encore show. Kenny will be right here running it as usual. Business Spotlight Scene, a lot coming up today. What Teased Me Off, always a lot of fun. Don't forget sports highlights on nnpstv.com. Special load to Baby Maria. We love you very much. And, of course, the hot heat. Boy, I tell you, it is really tough out there, and the people out there fishing have to deal with it all the time. Jennifer Duff, a regular from Lynn Haven Fishing Pier. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm good, Greg. How are you?
I guess the best theory is always early in the morning, late at night. I guess that's true for fishing in general, isn't it?
That's very true. In fact, the last couple of weeks, that's probably been the best time to fish, is early morning and late at night.
Well, let's talk about Lynn Haven Pier. It's right there off of Shore Drive, easy to get to, and, of course, it's open 24/7, correct?
Correct.
Well, let's talk about some of the amenities there that the families can expect as far as the bait and, of course, the space there to fish.
Well, we have a full line of bait and tackle, the top two of which would be, bloodworms and squid. We do rod rentals. They're $8 plus tax. You leave your driver's license as a deposit. Very simple. It comes fully set up for you to walk out, get your hook, and throw it out.
Very good, of course. Fun for the entire family. Of course, they got a Facebook page, nice website as well. Great place to fish, of course. They got a snack bar there, too. Get a little snack as well. You got to stay hydrated. I guess that's really important, too. The heat is so tough, you have to have a lot of water out there. Isn't that correct?
Oh, yes. The two big things that we recommend, especially in the middle of the summer, that people bring with them is sunscreen and lots of water.
And what's biting right now? I know you mentioned the spot and croaker were really active. What's going on now?
Right now, it's still a mix of spot croaker and roundhead. Been a little slow the last couple of weeks. We've had sort of a small influx of, sand shark and dog shark. So they're kind of running off the fish. And it's probably just the water temperature had gotten really warm up until in the end of last week with all that rain, and things started to cool down just a little bit. Crabbing's still very good, but your best fishing is still going to be overnight and early morning.
How about flounder?
Flounder, we've been getting some small ones. Not a lot of keepers yet. They have to be 16 inches. Most of them have been, under that. And the flounder has been mainly early morning.
Oh, well, give us your phone number.
Our phone number is 757-481-7071.
Jennifer, thanks. Stay cool out there, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. All right, Jennifer Duff right there, one of the treasures. Before we get to our break right here, I want to thank our great sponsors, 5 Points Family Diner. Go by and see Hassan. $5.99 lunch specials, of course, at 6144 Chesapeake Boulevard in Norfolk. Special 20% discount to all police officers, 855-0100. Of course, they got chicken fingers, wings, burgers, liver and onions, meatloaf, seafood, pasta, home-style cooking. Of course, go by and see Hassan. All you can eat chicken and dumplings today. That's it. All you can can eat. $6.99 for chicken and dumplings at 5 Points Family Diner. You'll see the sign right there on Chesapeake Boulevard, 6144. And, of course, a great place to eat for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Cheeseburgers, chicken salad, of course, flounder, spaghetti, you name it, he's got it at 5 Points Family Diner, open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., 855-0100, 6144 Chesapeake Boulevard. Go by and see Hassan. Ken Johnson, we've talked tennis, we've talked fishing. Let's talk swimming pools. I want to jump in the pool after all this hot heat. You got CBS News coming up, my friend.
CBS News coming up at the bottom of the hour. An update, they've reopened Taylor Road in Chesapeake, but get this, after being closed for so long, they finally reopened it. As soon as they reopened it, got a crash on Taylor Road and Peppercorn Drive, so there was a crash there. Also in Chesapeake, Oak Grove Road West, the roundabout is closed. They're doing an investigation of a structural fire there, so they've closed off that roundabout in Oak Grove. Got a crash in Virginia Beach with injuries. South Plaza Trail at Salina Drive. Still heavy traffic at the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. It's been heavy all morning. We had that crash. It's backed all the way out to Armstead Avenue. The crash has been moved to the North Island. 1 o'clock opening for the High Rise Bridge. 5:30 opening scheduled for the James River Bridge this afternoon. Thunderstorms in the forecast for today, tonight, and tomorrow. CBS is next. It's 12:31 on K-Talk 1650.
CBS News Update. I'm Steve Kathan. Church bells in the Netherlands on a day of mourning for the victims of downed Flight 17. Military transport planes brought some of the bodies back to the country from Ukraine. CBS's Steve Futterman.
A very, very moving scene here at Eindhoven Air Force Base as the first bodies have returned. Right now, a moment of silence. No words being said.
In Kiev, CBS's Cami McCormick says 2 Ukrainian jets were shot down today. Action blamed on pro-Russian rebels.
These were military aircraft, and they went down in eastern Ukraine, just miles from the Malaysian Airlines crash site. The fighting in eastern Ukraine has intensified this week, even preventing experts from getting to the crash scene to retrieve more bodies. And that's angered the Australian Prime Minister, who wants a multinational force to secure the area.
CBS News Update. I'm Steve Kathan.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Old Town Tavern in the heart of Phoebus is your place for a great lunch and dinner, specializing in fresh seafood, burgers, sandwiches, salads, appetizers, and much more. Open daily, Old Town Tavern has live music, pool tables, darts, HD TVs, and a most pleasing atmosphere. Find them on Facebook. Visit 31 East Mellon Street in Hampton with plenty of parking in the back. Call 251-2636, 251-2636, bringing great food and great people together. Old Town Tavern, the locals' choice. Now back to Greg Bicaveras and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
I see you move, I'm checking your smile, working your back.
Connecting both sides of the water, Peninsula, South Side, anywhere in the country. TuneIn.com. Type in WHKT. Listen on your phone, on your computer, folks. This is 24/7 media today. Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1. Not just traditional radio that people can listen to, say hello to all the tourists, but on your phone, on your computer, on Twitter, at Greg Bick, at GJBTV, at Sports Highlight, and at HROnlineMall.com. Of course, great sponsors on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. GJBTV.com. Hit the marketplace sponsors. Tell your friends. Say hello to all the tourists out there. And, of course, hope you enjoyed our first 2 guests, Jeff Newman and Jennifer Duff. Big event coming up this Saturday at 7:30. At the Masonic Lodge on Granby Street in Norfolk. Big wrestling event. George Pantis and company do a great job showcasing it. The big lottery event, VCW, 7:30 at the Masonic Lodge. Be there. One of our great sponsors right there on the homepage of GJBTV.com. Also a Marketplace One on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Want to welcome David Davis of Rachel Davis Hair Studio. David, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Greg. How are you?
Very good. How are you staying cool today, by the way?
Oh, I'm staying inside.
There you go. There you go. Well, let's talk about that wonderful salon really catching on. People really in Oyster Point and throughout the entire peninsula are talking about Rachel Davis. Talk about it.
Rachel Davis Hair Studio, we've been open for about 3 months now, and we're just getting busier and busier. I mean, we had a tremendous amount of people come in for the wedding services that we're offering, and now we're starting to, that's starting to slow down. We're starting to do more of our everyday bread and butter cut and colors type of things.
Well, let's talk about what you specialize in there. Of course, it's summertime coming up. You just mentioned the wedding season, but of course, it's fall will be coming up, and I guess every season, David's got a different showcase that you guys do.
Yeah, that's correct. Right now, we're doing a lot of Brazilian blowouts and keratin treatments, which are smoothing treatments for the summer heat, so you can fight the frizz. And we're doing a lot of cut and colors. I mean, basically, that's what people are coming in and getting right now: the funky colors and the trendy haircuts. Yeah,
I really am a big fan of those colors too. Even though I'm pretty conservative, I think girls are beautiful the way they are with their own natural beauty. But the hair really enhances them, no matter what color it is. I think that's really a hot thing that you see girls in their 20s doing, but also older women as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the trends now are the brighter colors, the greens, the blues, the reds. Those type of colors are really flattering to women.
Well, let's talk about all the services that your salon has to offer.
Sure. We do everything from bridal parties and wedding services. We do traditional hair. We do traditional makeup as well as airbrushing makeup. We also, like I said, offer those smoothing treatments, the keratin treatments, the Brazilian blowouts.
And the phone number there is 223-8885. That's 223-8885. Give us your address and your Facebook as well.
Yeah, we're at 732 Thimble Shoals Boulevard, suite number 305. We're actually facing Pilot House. And our website is RachelDavisHairStudio.com, and you can also find us on Facebook at RachelDavisHairStudio.com.
Right, and a great website as well. If you can't remember, just go to GJBTV.com. You'll see the beautiful image up there. You'll be seeing them in the movie theaters coming up on radio. They're everywhere, of course. David Davis's great staff. And you mentioned you have artists that work there. That's really what they are. Those women really take good care of their customers, attention to detail for everyone.
Exactly. A lot of the places, they have hairstylists, and the stylists aren't really artists. We have a lot more freedom, or we give a lot more freedom to our artists, and that's because everyone here has been doing hair for a long time. I mean, we don't have anybody fresh out of beauty school or anything like that. Nothing against those people who are coming out of school, but we take more seasoned hairstylists here, and we call them hair artists.
And they cater to everybody, folks, young, old. It's a wonderful atmosphere. You'll feel like at home. And the minute you walk in, David, Rachel, they'll take good care of you and all the wonderful staff. Again, the phone number there is 223-8885. And give us your hours and weekdays.
Monday through Friday, we are open 9 to 9, so really all the time. And then Saturdays, we're open 9 to 5.
Yeah, folks, just look. Just because you have to work till 5 or 6 or 7, you can still go by there. And, of course, go to their website, which is?
RachelDavisHairStudio.com.
Very good. All right, my friend, all the best. Stay cool, and we look forward to seeing you at the salon very soon.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. David Davis right there from Rachel Davis, 223-8885. That's 223-8885. We all need a haircut as well. And, of course, a lot going on, too. Also, I want to thank our good friends, Tommy over at Mona Lisa's in Ocean View. Of course, he's got Idol, of course, winner every week. Winner of each week advances to next week. Grand prize winners, give him a call at 362-0200. A lot going on at Mona Lisa's Pizza in Ocean View with the Idol contest right there for you in Norfolk. And, of course, don't forget 5 Points Family Diner at 6144 Chesapeake Boulevard. And, Ken, you talk about during the summertime, sometimes when you watch the news, you talk about the stress. But I'm going to ask you a news question before we go to our next break about the unfortunate incident of the plane being shot down. It's all over CNN and MSNBC. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, that is so sad that a family or tourist or business people are just trying to get from A to B, and it's almost like they're in a war zone, like you're getting that World War I or World War II or Vietnam feeling where casual people are being shot down.
And for what purpose? That's the whole thing. War is one thing. People expect to have casualties in war, but there's been no war declared that I know of, no declaration of war. There's a lot of anger and a lot of rebel activity going on, but to declare war against civilians who have nothing to do with it, they didn't declare war. A lot of those passengers were Dutch. There's been no war declared against the Netherlands that I'm aware of, so why do they take those victims out? Fanatics and terrorists take out victims of innocent victims more so than regular wartime does. We see the Christians being shot and killed by the Muslim radicals in the Middle East, and you don't see that talked about. Nobody's talking about that in the major media or anywhere else. It's all over the place. You can find it. Those Muslim extremists love to put the videos of children and men and women being shot in the head in large groups. It's all over the place. But you don't see, no one talks about it. It's not out there. It needs to be discussed, needs to be talked about. And the other thing is, isn't it rather curious that it seems to be constantly happening to Malaysia Airlines?
Yeah, and what's going on there? One guy actually took a picture and said, just in case something happens, and guess what? It did. As we're talking right here on Sports Scene, hope you enjoyed our first three guests, Jeff Newman, who talked tennis, Jennifer Duff, who talked fishing, David Davis from Rachel Davis, right there, Hair Studio, beautiful place in Newport News at 223-8885. Don't forget, find me on Twitter, at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, and HROnlineMall.com. The website is HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Twitter's a little bit different, of course. Got to have certain characters. And, of course, GJBTV.com marketplace sponsor. So stay tuned. Don't forget sports highlights on NNPSTV.com. We'll be back with more Sports Scene live on the radio, live on TuneIn after these messages.
Fink's Car Care, with locations in Chesapeake and Portsmouth, is your dedicated Tire Stars dealer. At Fink's, their experienced staff specializes in brake, steering, suspension, tune-ups, oil changes, and much more. They also handle rebuilt engines and transmissions, and they're your destination for tires, rims, and towing as well. Fink's is located at 2236 South Military Highway at 2711 Victory Boulevard. For more information, log on to finkscarcare.com or call 545-3573.
Your family and their safety are your number one priority. Your homestead and your business and quality of life can give you peace of mind, but there are some bad hombres out there. Keep it all safe with the proper firearms and ammo from Battlefield Guns and Ammo. You can't take anything for granted, whether you're at the ranch or out on the trail. Call 757-410-7720. Log on to battlefield-guns.com and visit Battlefield Guns and Ammo at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Now back to Greg Bicaveras and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
But first, let me take a selfie.
And you could be driving, listening right there on the radio, News Talk 1650. This is Sports Scene. Don't forget, tunein.com. Type in WHKT. I want to thank our great guests last week in the fan forum again, Ron, Hank, and Bill. You can listen to that show by going to GJBTV.com and, of course, hitting the YouTube link. And, of course, our great guests so far, Jeff Newman, Jennifer Duff, David Davis. I want to welcome Donald Hood, one of our great sponsors from Battlefield Guns and Ammo in Chesapeake. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
How are you staying cool, first of all? It's hot out there. I hope you're indoors.
Yeah, we are inside. Luckily, we have a pretty good AC.
Well, let's talk about Battlefield Guns and Ammo. How long has the store been there, and what do you have in stock right now?
We've been here going on 4 years. Started out pretty small, got pretty big real quick. Mm-hmm. We've got a wide selection of firearms, Glock, Smith & Wesson, Springfield, a few different ARs on the wall. We can put you some stuff together.
Absolutely. And, of course, your brother is a police officer. And I just had talked to my good friend who's a state police officer as well. One thing, the local police officers, the state police officers, they really support your store.
That they do. We have nothing but support for them and all of our military also.
Well, let's talk about your address. It's so convenient, Donald. So just no matter where you're in Chesapeake, it's just really convenient to get to Gray Bridge.
Yep. We're just north of the locks at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard and Great Bridge Shops.
Yeah, 410-7720. That's 410-7720. Of course, you have a really nice website that's really, really interactive. Go ahead and plug your website.
It's www.battlefield-guns.com. And actually, speaking of that, we are in the process of redoing everything. We're going to have 40 to 60,000 products up there that can be shipped right to your door.
Very, very nice. And, folks, if you forget it, just go to Google and go to Battlefield Guns Chesapeake, and you will see it. And Terry, Donald, and everybody, Tom, will take good care of you. Great staff. Talk about your hours there and your weekdays so people will know when to visit.
Monday through Saturday, we're open 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Very good. And, of course, it's almost hunting season, too. Well, let's talk about that. I know you like to hunt. Let's talk about hunting season. What are the do's and don'ts for the first-time hunter?
Do's, pretty much just make sure you go out and get your hunter safety course. Just be aware of what you're shooting and what's behind what you're shooting.
Very good. And what are some of the things that you've hunted for over the years yourself?
Deer, turkey, done some different varmint hunting, coyotes, boar.
Right, and you can learn right there. If you want to learn more, just go to Battlefield Gun Shop, go by and talk to Donald, and Terry and Tom will take good care of you right there on Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Very convenient right there, 410-7720. You feel like at home the minute you walk in when you talk to the family there. And, of course, it's family-owned and operated, locally owned and operated. That means a lot to you personally, too, as well.
Yes, by far.
Very good. All right, my friend, and we will talk to you soon. Stay cool, say hello to your family, and hope everybody visits Battlefield Guns and Ammo in Chesapeake.
You have a good day.
You too. All right. And you got to, these days, Ken, you got to be really safe no matter where you're at. You got family, you got kids, and you got to be proactive as opposed to reactive.
Absolutely. This is a nation that has the Second Amendment, not the first one, the second one, which is real close, is the right to keep and bear arms. And in order to protect the first, sometimes you need to make sure that the second is also used as well. They both, if you will, are symbiotic, the First and Second Amendment. So you don't have to, but you are allowed to. Why not take advantage of it? It's almost like insurance. You hope you never need it, but if you do need it and you don't have it.
Yeah, and folks, when you're in a parking lot at a mall or department store, make sure you lock your keys and your car and all that stuff, and keep the keys with you, of course, but lock that car before you enter a building. Make sure you double check if you have to. It doesn't hurt, and hide your belongings too in the trunk. You do. Also, women with kids, look around your surroundings before you exit the car. You never know who's watching you as well. So like Donald said, Battlefield Guns and Ammo will take good care of you over in Chesapeake. You got to be proactive, not reactive, as well as safety. Lock your doors at night, and this is not 1950 where it's Mayberry, North Carolina, and Gomer's talking to Goober and say, come on over and leave the door open all night long, Ken. You really got to be safe no matter where you're at.
Yeah, this is not the days when I grew up when nobody locked their car doors or their front doors. Now you have to lock everything.
You're talking about when Holland Road was a dirt road, too.
Oh, yeah. And there was nothing on Princess Anne Road but fields.
I love when tourists try to tell us Virginia Beach people about what's going on in Virginia Beach, because for so long, Ken, the tourists, they just drive down 264. They never get off Rosemont or Lynn Haven or Independence or wherever. It's just straight, not to First Colonial either. I'm not picking on you guys either. Straight down to the oceanfront.
Yeah, and don't pay any attention to what's going on locally. Don't ask, where did Wichita Road get its name, or Pleasure House Road? Interesting stories behind those, but they don't know.
Or South Wichita Road or South Independence. It's really, and then not to mention the people in Pungo feel like, what, Virginia Beach? That's a long way from us, too. Yeah. But anyway, we have a lot more coming up. This is Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1. Ken, explain next week with the encore presentation how that'll work.
It's a best of show, and I think it's a lot of fun. It's a fun program to listen to, and it'll essentially be a previous program, but it will also have the traffic and news all involved with that as well, and that'll be on next Wednesday from noon to 1.
And Ken will have the live inserts as well. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of Sports Scene on News Talk 1650.
Fink's Car Care, with locations in Chesapeake and Portsmouth, is your dedicated Tire Stars dealer. At Fink's, their experienced staff specializes in brake, steering, suspension, tune-ups, oil changes, and much more. They also handle rebuilt engines and transmissions, and they're your destination for tires, rims, and towing as well. Fink's is located at 2236 South Military Highway at 2711 Victory Boulevard. For more information, log on to finkscarcare.com or call 545-3573.
Old Town Tavern in the heart of Phoebus is your place for a great lunch and dinner, specializing in fresh seafood, burgers, sandwiches, salads, appetizers, and much more. Open daily, Old Town Tavern has live music, pool tables, darts, HD TVs, and a most pleasing atmosphere. Find them on Facebook. Visit 31 East Mellon Street in Hampton with plenty of parking in the back. Call 251-2636, 251-2636, bringing great food and great people together. Old Town Tavern, the locals' choice. Now back to Greg Bicaveras and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
What is this I'm feeling?
And welcome back right here to News Talk 1650. This is Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1. I want to thank our great guests, Jeff Newman as well, Jennifer Duff, David Davis, Donald Hood. Really great topics on tennis, on fishing, on firearms and safety, and of course, beauty and fashion with Rachel Davis Hair Studio in Oyster Point as well. I want to thank one of our other great sponsors, Tacos Mexico and Newport News. Give them a call at 746-0530. Great food, great taste as well. 13677 Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. They've of course got tacos, they've got tortas, they got burritos, they've got all types of gorditas, quesadillas, chimichangas, wonderful food, wonderful atmosphere, family atmosphere, one taco, two taco, you name it. They got a kids menu. They got delicious sides. They've got dessert. They've got excellent beverages as well. So it's right there at authentic, I mean good stuff, folks, in Newport News at Tacos Mexico, 13677 Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. Go by and see Barbara and the staff, open daily for lunch and dinner, 746-0530. That's 746-0530 for Tacos Mexico, your place for delicious, authentic Mexican cuisine in Newport News. All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with more of Sports Scene after these messages.
Fink's Car Care, with locations in Chesapeake and Portsmouth, is your dedicated Tire Stars dealer. At Fink's, their experienced staff specializes in brakes, steering, suspension, tune-ups, oil changes, and much more. They also handle rebuilt engines and transmissions, and they're your destination for tires, rims, and towing as well. Fink's is located at 2236 South Military Highway at 2711 Victory Boulevard. For more information, log on to finkscarcare.com or call 545-3573.
Old Town Tavern in the heart of Phoebus is your place for a great lunch and dinner, specializing in fresh seafood, burgers, sandwiches, salads, appetizers, and much more. Open daily, Old Town Tavern has live music, pool tables, darts, HD TVs, and a most pleasing atmosphere. Find them on Facebook. Visit 31 East Mellon Street in Hampton with plenty of parking in the back. Call 251-2636, 251-2636, bringing great food and great people together. Old Town Tavern, the locals' choice. Now back to Greg Bicaveras and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Ken, that just puts you in the baseball mood. You know, you got the Tides, of course, and the Orioles, Nationals doing so well in baseball, but that kind of gets you in that hot dog, diet soda, peanuts, popcorn mode.
Oh, yeah. Want to go out and see some baseball.
That's it. Great guest day. This is Sports Scene. Don't forget, for more, log on to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. Ken, let's get ready for What Tees Me Off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by gjbtv.com.
And a lot tees me off. Ken, feel free to interact. We have a great segment. And, of course, folks, if you ever miss What Tees Me Off, go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link and listen to past shows and fast forward to usually the last segment. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier. Ken, ownership that lets an outside operations manager tell them what to do. Really? Then why are you the owners?
Exactly. If you don't know what you're doing, why do you own the business? Why are you trying to run the business? I always thought that was rather strange when the consultant craze started in broadcasting, especially in radio. If you don't know what you're doing, why do you own the radio station? Sell it to somebody that has actually sat in front of a microphone and done a show before and knows what the audience wants and who the audience is and how to run a radio station. If you don't know how to run the business, get out of it.
Yeah, and also there's one place or two places or three places that have local investors, but they hire a consultant or a manager that tries to tell them what to do. Then they start hiring their wife, their girlfriends. Hello, nepotism. That doesn't usually work.
We've seen examples of that in Washington, D.C. It just never works out very well.
Yeah, and you know what? To me, that's one thing that's never been brought up, that the two Clintons together, people don't like nepotism. They were tired of Bill, and now they're tired of Hillary. I just think enough. I just think, unfortunately, when you have a person who's your spouse, who was the president of the United States for 8 years, good, bad, or ugly, it's hard to have another family member. The Bush family was an exception and rare, but that rarely happens.
Yeah, and now they're talking about Chelsea maybe running for office?
No, I think she's too busy raising her kids. She should do a good job with that. All right, a wait for more than 10 to 15 minutes for lunch at restaurants. Hello, prep work. I mean, don't you love it when we're starting to get ready for at 11 o'clock to eat and you see the kitchen staff scrambling? What's 9 o'clock in the morning for?
Yeah, preparation. It's one thing if there's a sudden influx, if you see a big bus outside and you know that a huge party just rolled in from out of state or something, you cut them a little slack. They weren't expecting that. And by the way, people, if you're planning on doing that, bringing in parties, we went to a restaurant the other night, and as we were waiting here, something like Taylor party of 36. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Call ahead,
Yeah.
make reservations, let them know you're bringing a huge party so they can prepare for it, bring in some extra staff. Don't just drop in on them with this huge party of 20 or 30 people. That's just insane. But otherwise, if it's a normal day, what's with the prep staff? Do you not have any? Come on, get on the ball. If you're waiting for more than 10 or 15 minutes and haven't even brought your drinks yet,
Yeah.
it's time to just pack it up and leave.
And that's a great point, too. You just can't rely on texting and emails. You got to make a phone call, make reservations. Still, that does exist in 2014. Yes, you can make a phone call, folks, landline or cell phone. That still does work. And Ken, I went to a movie this past Saturday with a friend of mine, and the movie was about to start in about 10 minutes. We got there still early, but the popcorn tub was empty. And the guy goes, "Oh, here's fresh popcorn." Really? There was a huge container of popcorn that was nothing but glass. "Oh, here's the bottom kernels for you. I'm sure you'll enjoy it."
My goodness. I would imagine that was one of those chain facilities.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention the name.
Yeah, we don't have to mention, but they're all over the place. They don't necessarily have staff members who are into the spirit of making sure it's a good program and that you have a good time. Try to go to a smaller run facility, maybe a family run operation where, first of all,
Sure.
maybe they pop their own popcorn and don't bring it in those great big giant bags and then pour it into the bin and say, "Oh, we fresh popped that this morning." Yeah, it was popped about a month ago.
And it's
been
stale.
sitting in the back room somewhere, and it's stale, and then pour that WD-40 on there that's
Yeah.
supposed to be butter. It's not even close to butter. Maybe they showed a picture of a butter stick to it, but it's not real butter. There are places that offer fresh, hot popcorn cooked on premises with real butter. You don't have to put up with the $20 and $30 ticket prices and the $300 for a drink and a cup of popcorn. Look around. There's facilities out there, family-run businesses that offer you a much better deal.
This is Sports Scene right here in News Talk 1650. Greg Picaveras. Don't forget, Encore Show next week, 12 to 1. Tell your friends about Sports Scene every Wednesday, 12 to 1. Live on the radio, News Talk 1650. This is What Teased Me Off, presented by Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com and GJBTV.com marketplace sponsors, and our good friends at Active Computers. Ken, how about wait staff who serves and busses tables both? So they're picking up hot food, then bringing the dirty dishes back to the kitchen, and then taking the hot food. There's no time to wash your hands.
No, that's uncalled for and unnecessary and unsanitary, and someone should call the health department on those folks if they're doing that. That's if you're short-staffed, all right, give them time to go out and wash their hands, or call somebody in. Let the manager do the bussing of the tables if worse comes to worse, but you don't have someone doing both.
How about blogs, Ken? You see all this stuff on Twitter especially. Read my blog, read my blog. Guess what? I'm not going to read your blog, and I can't stand these people that nobody even knows. They got 50,000 Twitter followers. That's nothing but spam, and they're paying people to get Twitter followers, and they're really insignificant nobodies.
Oh, yeah. There are ways you can pay some money and have a whole bunch of followers and likes on Facebook, followers on Twitter, and what have you. They're not real. You've paid for that for people to say that they like you and they follow you, and it's not real. And so many blogs, I've read so many blogs where it's almost cut and paste from the AP or CNN or something, and then they put a few extra words in there and claim it's their own. Give me a break. It's not. You're plagiarizing. You're boring. You're dull.
Right.
But everyone thinks you're special because I have a blog. Well,
yeah.
Anyone can have a blog.
Yeah, and not to mention, I'll give you advice. Well, who are you to give advice anyway? This is Sports Scene right here on News Talk 1650. That's why I like Twitter, Ken. It's short, sweet, and to the point. People who buy Twitter followers, and the only people that know them are their neighbors. Okay, and also, too, employees, we mentioned when they speak for management. I mean, there's a reason why they're management. They speak for themselves.
Absolutely.
And they set the rules. Ken, this is Sports Scene every Wednesday. I will be off next week. Archive Encore Show. Ken Johnson will be doing his CBS News, his updates, his traffic, his weather, as usual. Don't forget an Encore Show of Sports Scene next Wednesday, 12 to 1. I will be back in 2 weeks. Look forward to it. I want to thanks to all our guests today, Jeff Newman, of course, Jennifer Duff, David Davis, and Donald Hood. For more, log on to GJBTV.com. Marketplace sponsors, Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com as well. Tacos Mexico, 5 Points Family Diner, and of course George Pantis in his big wrestling in Norfolk at the Masonic Lodge this Saturday night. Don't miss it. Ken Johnson, I'm Greg Picaveras. Happy Wednesday. Stay cool, and we'll talk to you soon.
And one more what teased me off. Scooters with 1 horsepower motors in the left lane on the major roads. It's against the law now as of July 1st. You can't do that anymore. All right, quick update on what's going on in traffic. We've got a crash in Virginia Beach with injuries. South Plaza Trail at Salina Drive. Still some very heavy traffic. 64 east heading for the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. We've had incidents, stoppages, and one heavy backed all the way to Armstead Avenue. Crash Taylor Road and Peppercorn Road in Chesapeake. Also, the Oak Grove Road westbound roundabout is closed for investigation of a structural fire up there. High-rise bridge getting ready to go through an opening any time now at 1 o'clock. James River Bridge at 5:30. Showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for tonight, tomorrow, and for today as well. Looking for highs around 85 degrees. AM 1650 WHKT in Portsmouth. It is 1 p.m.